Gaddafi. And the Sudan have ties that have been going on for years. So there were negotiations that were totally bogus. And in Qatar and Doha, the Khartoum government and Bashir say, we'll negotiate. I'll put my cards on the table. I will engage in negotiations. And two rebel groups went to negotiate it, but it didn't work. No, yes, it did. They signed an agreement between the GEM rebels, who were Islamist, and negotiated with the government. They signed an agreement, and the next day, the government bombed the bastions of the same group called GEM. So you can see how what the modus operandi of Bashir usually is. So the other rebel group, which is called Southern Liberation Movement and the Southern Liberation Army, Abdel Hadi Madour, refused to negotiate, and the international community attacked it, saying, you have to go negotiate. It's because of you that there's a problem. And Bashir government wants to negotiate it, so go negotiate. We need peace in Darfur. This is the kind of problem we have before us. People say, look, the rebels don't want peace. There cannot be no agreement unless there's an international agreement that the Janjaweed are disarmed, a guarantee that populations, the civil populations, can return to their villages in normally secure conditions. You have to imagine the situation. These villages are scattered and going home when it's dangerous. We have to have a police force there. And if not, there'll be Janjaweed or bandits. There'll be tribes prowling, looting. So if you're not protected by the military or by the international community, you go back to villages that were looted and devastated. Well, how can you go back home? How are you going to live? Economically, you're at the mercy of gangsters who may attack you by Janjaweed or others. So they say, we can't go back home. So the rebels say, we will not sign if the international community doesn't guarantee that people can go back home and live normal lives. So the international community, well, sees the problem that we see. The international community wants peace. They say, we have to have peace. But they have overlooked the reasons that people were living in conditions of extreme. And over the decades, they had managed to have a livable, tenable situation, but then the genocide came, and now, in order to live a normal life with peace, in quotes, we need a guarantee by the international community, and we don't need to have the international community nudging everybody to make peace. So those who defend justice, like us, appear to be warmongers, because we say we can't blame the rebels for not signing, because the reasons that unleashed the aggression have gotten even worse. Thank you for your kind attention. We're going to use the remaining time to respond to questions, and I suppose that all of these presentations will have given you food for thought. Who would like to begin? Sir? Can you introduce yourself, please, and see whom you're addressing your question to? Shall I speak in the microphone? My name is Aaron Remal. I represent the Institute of Judaism in Canada, and I would like to ask Mr. Zhao three questions. The first question, lately we've heard that the new government in the south of Sudan has requested the right to have new diplomatic relations with Israel. And I'd like to know if that's true, if he has any information on that subject. Secondly, relations between Darfur and southern Sudan. We've heard two opinions, two sides. Now, even if Darfur is just a province in Sudan, if the south of Sudan, is it responding to the needs of the people of Darfur? Are there relations between these areas?
Right. I'm not here as representing the government of Southern Sudan. Officially, I'm not. But as part of that nation, I have dual citizenships, and I'm American as well as Southern Sudanese. I don't know why we will be selective in what country that will have a relationship. We don't see how. Well, if you see passport, the old passport of Sudan, again, in the south until July 9th will become officially independent. But as we speak, in that passport, it said you go to all other countries except Israel. Whoever that put that, I don't know who did that, but you know who put such statement. We in the South, we actually don't even have any problem with Israel. So why shouldn't we not have a great, not only great relationship, but an excellent relationship with the state of Israel? So there's no reason why I think myself, as a Sudanese before, not Southern Sudanese, I think I was prevented to go to Israel. Maybe now, maybe Israel would be the first country that I would go and see and visit. So there's no reason we should not have that diplomatic relation with Israel. So here, as I said before, I'm not representing government of Southern Sudan, but as a member, as a citizen, I will be the first to advocate that relationship. In regard to our relationship, the Southern Sudanese with the Darfur, yes, there is no problem. And actually, what had happened many years ago, we just want to forget it, the people in the South. And let me maybe highlight a little bit by what I'm talking about many years ago. In many years ago, between the North and South, the war that had been going on. So there was a, alliance between the people in Darfur and the North, because they are Muslims. So they were kind of all together fighting the Southerners under the umbrella of saying, well, these are Christians. Well, in the South right now, we are not even talking about what had happened in many years ago. It happened because the people in Darfur were brainwashed by the North. And so there's no reason they all of them regret why they have been fighting or killing people in the South. And so we not only forgetting what they have done before, but we are actively helping them. Even in the United States, I am a part of Save Darfur. And that's what it's supposed to be. By the way, they did not decide to come to South Sudan and exterminate or kill people in the south. I'm talking about the people in Darfur. And so, honestly, we are brothers. We are sisters. Brothers and sisters, and so there's no problem. We can help them even in my own village, very remote. We have 3 Darfurians, people from Darfur. They're there. They're operating. They are selling their stuff. Nobody disturbing them. We even consider as our brothers. They are supposed to have their passport, or if they want, they could have their citizenship in this house. So we suffer the same situation, same being mistreated by the same enemy. And so we should be one.
Merci. Thank you, John. Y aurait-il une autre question?
Are there any other questions? Yes. Sir? After the lady. Could you raise your questions and introduce yourself, please?
My name is Abu Zar. I'm representing Global Network for Rights and Development, Sudan office. First, I would like to congratulate my brother John by eventually now newborn country in Africa, South Sudan. And to be fair, when we are talking about human rights situation in Sudan, we know that there are many violations in South and West, and even in some West. But everyone, I think, now they are knowing that there are many innocent people from minorities have been killed in south of Sudan by SPLA, the official army of South Sudan government. And I think a big role of human rights defenders must be raised now by strengthening the roles of international humanitarian law and human rights law, and that by raising the awareness and monitoring violations against minorities. And many people now, if you assume that there are Janjaweed in Darfur, many people now talking about the Dinka in South are playing same role by killing the minorities from another people in south of Sudan. So we're asking the international community to, all of us must support all the steps of maintaining the peace in Sudan, in south or north or west or east. And you must put pressure on the government of South of Sudan to do its part in maintaining the national rights of the people of South of Sudan and provide all violators of human rights to fair trials compatible with the human dignity. Thank you.
Merci pour votre question.
Thank you for your question. I see that Bernal was agreeing with you when you raised your question, so I will give you the floor, Bernal.